Hey guys, what's up? This is Sutaami. I have another deck tech coming at you. This is for a mono green deck. It's not really mono green beats because there's not that many beaters in the deck. It's more mono green fun. It's good to run at F&M if you get bored of your tier 1 deck and feel like playing something different. Or it's just good to have around if you have like a friend who wants to join you, because it's pretty simple to run and it can win. So let's just get started. Forests, I have 23 of them. They're all the same forest because it's from Urza Saga and it's just the one I like. This deck needs 23. Well, I mean, you don't need 23 lands, but you need all forests for your Dungrove Elders, because you want them to be a pretty good beater late game. So, let's start with creatures. 4 birds. It kind of surprises me that more people don't run birds in decks like this. I know some of the Getter Dungrove decks from Standard when Zendikar was in would run Dismember, and they would run 4 Llanowar Elves and no birds, which didn't make sense to me because you could tap the birds for black mana instead of paying 2 life. I mean, you don't want to rely on it, but at the same time, it's 2 life you don't have to lose if you can tap the birds and not have anything happen. So, besides birds, we have 2 Llanowar Elves for mana acceleration. That's done with the 1-drops then. 3 Viridian Emissary. He's pretty good. He's a 2/1. When he dies, you get a basic land card put in the battlefield tapped. He's just good to play on turn 2 and start swinging for 2 at your opponent every turn. If they decide to block him, you get a free land. If they don't, then you're just going to be coming through with damage every turn. There's 3 Skin Shifter in the deck. I tried 4, but I ended up liking 3 better. Skin Shifter, he's okay. I wish there was a better option in Standard right now for mono green, but it's either a Skin Shifter or some werewolves, and I don't like how unreliable the werewolves can be. But Skin Shifter, if you play him on turn 2, you know, you can attack with a 4/4 Trampler next turn by using his ability, which isn't bad. For Dungrove Elder, that's one of the big beaters in the deck. It's one of the more important cards. It's why we're running 23 forests and not like 19 forests and 4 Inkmoth. Hexproof is very good in Standard right now. Most of the control decks are running Day of Judgment, but aside from that, they're running Doomblades, Dismembers, Oblivion Ring. I guess my deck's running Beast Within, but none of those can target Dungrove. And you know, when he's like a 4/4, 5/5 swinging every turn, that, you know, it sucks. It's like Green's weak version of Geist of St. Troft, if you've played against him yet. But 2 Thruns after that. Thrun's same thing as Dungrove. He has Hexproof. He also can't be countered, which is pretty good against blue. Then he has Regenerate for 2, which is pretty freaking good. The only card that can reliably get rid of him in Standard right now is Black Sun Zenith. So, you know, 2 Acidic Slime. Those, depending on what's at your F&M, you could take those out for another beater if you wanted to. I'm running them because there's a lot of enchantments and artifacts. But at my F&M, a lot of swords, a lot of can't think of any of the enchantments off the top of my head besides Tempered Steel. But yeah, a lot of stuff that Acidic Slime can get rid of. I usually save them in my hand to try to get rid of an enchantment or an artifact. I don't usually use them on a land unless I can put my opponent down to, like if they're running a 2-color deck and, you know, they only have like 1 land that can produce blue and then 5 that can produce white, I might use Acidic Slime to destroy the one that can produce blue. But usually I'll just save it for an artifact or an enchantment. 2 Worm Coils are actually the last monster in my deck. The Worm Coil is a very good creature in Standard. The Lifelink Death Touch is nice. The Lifelink offsets some of the life you're going to be paying from those when we get to them. He withstands the Day of Judgment since he splits off into 2 tokens once he gets destroyed. You could try Primeval Titans instead. I didn't like them in here. That's why I switched to Wormcoil. It's your call. If you have Primevals, you can try it. So, and then I have the tokens for this deck. 4 Beast, 1 Germ. We'll get to the Germ in a little bit. 3 Garruk Primal Hunter. One of the best cards in the deck. Very, very easily. Depending on how nut your draw is at the beginning, you could get him out on turn 3. If you have like 2 of the 1-cost mana acceleration, odds are you'll get him out on turn 4 or 5, more likely. Very, very good. I almost always, if he's left untouched, I almost always do a +1 to put a 3/3 beast in the field, then use his minus to draw cards. Usually it ends up being 4 or 5 cards, depending on how much Dungrove is at, or if I can turn a Skin Shifter into a 4/4. You get to draw 6 if you have a Wormcoil out. Yeah, he's very good. If you're playing against control, you'll see a lot of size if you use his minus ability and end up drawing like 4 or 5 cards. Most people know big weakness of green decks is that, mono green, is that you can run out of steam quickly and you can get to the point where you don't really have cards in your hand anymore. And Garruk kind of offsets that. I've never actually used his ultimate ability. I've never had to. Usually I will -3 and then win the game either the next turn or the turn after. 1 Karn. Karn you could take out if you don't like him. I enjoy him because of his minus ability. He gets rid of anything that's causing you ire. Literally anything. If your opponent's down to just 1 or 2 cards in hand, you can try to use his plus to keep that going. I just think he's a good tech card to throw in. 2 Green Sun Zenith. I tried 4, and that was way too many. I tried 3, and I still thought I saw him too much. I went down to 2. It can fetch anything aside from Wormcoil, so it's very good. You can use it on turn 2 to fetch another Mana Accelerator, or if you played if you have 2 lands and a Mana Acceleration creature, at that point you could find a Skin Shifter or Viridian Emissary. 3 Dismember. Dismember, you need a lot of spot removal in this deck, and Dismember is about as good as it gets in Standard. I shouldn't have to explain Dismember. 3 Beast Within. Beast Within, it's for the fact that it can destroy anything. You can get rid of Tempered Steels, Planeswalkers, Oblivion Rings if someone's done that to one of your creatures. There's a lot you can do with Beast Within. And the 3/3 Beast isn't hard to overcome in this kind of deck. 1 Batterskull. Vigilance Lifelink. I needed something that costs 5 that's good, so Ratchet Bomb is gets rid of tokens. It's one of the only cards in the deck that can get rid of Mirror Crusader, and if your FNM's got a lot of human decks, you'll see a lot of Mirror Crusaders. 1 Overrun because it's green. Then for the sideboard, 2 more Acidic Slime. You should know when to board those in. Another Beast Within you can bring in with the Acidic Slimes or whatever else you need. 4th Dismember that you can bring in against creature heavy decks. Play smart if you're running 4 Dismember, because you can lose a lot of life quickly. 3 Naturalize, again for enchantments or artifact heavy decks. My FNM has a lot of swords running around, so I board those. 3 Mortar Pod is something most people would never consider for your sideboard. I use it against red. A lot of the red creatures only have 1 or 2 toughness, so Mortar Pod's kind of fun to use against them. You can get rid of Lavamancers, Furnace Scamps, Hero of Oxid Ridge if you want to do it twice. It's pretty good. Tumble Magnets are in the sideboard specifically for Mirror Crusader. There's a lot of them running around my FNM, and deck doesn't have a lot of options against Mirror Crusader. Another Ratchet Bomb for humans or tokens. And then there's 1 Melira, the anti-poison lady, and that one's for, infect decks. And you can fetch it with the Green Sun Zenith. So that's mono green casual. Comment, question, give me some suggestions. If you want to ask how it works turn by turn, go ahead and message me or comment. So, thanks.